Hello friends, this is Kailash Kondal, PCT Chemistry, Kendriya Vidyalaya Pasighat. I am here to discuss about science whose subject code is 86 for class 10th. Let's start with the course structure for the class 10 science. Basically, there are 5 units. First unit is chemical substances, nature and behavior with 25 marks. It will take about 55 periods. Second unit is World of Living, marks 23, periods 50. Unit 3, Natural Phenomena, marks 12, periods 23. Unit 4, Effects of Current, marks 13, periods 32. Unit 5, Natural Resources, marks 7 with periods 20. Hence, total marks for the annual examination will be 80 with internal assessment of 20 marks, and grand total will be 100 marks for whole year examination. Now first unit is chemical substances, nature and behavior. It is having 5 chapters. First chapter is chemical reactions and equations, acids, bases and salts, metals and non-metals, carbon and its compounds, and last one is periodic classification of elements. Before starting the first unit or first chapter, I would like to ask some question. Do you know, if all of you know about this table, so atomic number 1 to 20, symbol, elements, electronic configuration, valency, period number, group number, atomic mass and their properties, and these are some cations with their valency, and these are some anions with their valency. If all of you know about these cations atomic number 1 to 20, then you can start with the first chapter. If you don't know, then you should remember all of these ions and atoms. With the chapter 1, explain the terms chemical reactions and chemical equations. Startations. Whenever a chemical change occurs, we can say that a chemical reaction has taken place. We have already learned about chemical change, physical change. So for the chemical change, you can say this is chemical reaction. And one example is here. Here we are burning magnesium ribbon with the help of burner, and the ash formed is collected in the watch glass, and ash contains magnesium oxide which is white in color. This experiment is very important and we are going to do in the laboratory whenever you come to the school. These are some examples of chemical chains or chemical reactions. In the first example, you can see that some yellow colored solution is mixed with the transparent solution. Then here it is fermentation of organic manure or organic farming. In the middle of the slide, you can see the burning of mastic. Then here zinc granules reaction with the sulfuric acid, production of hydrogen gas, and then reaction of hydrogen and oxygen to form water. All these are chemical changes. What does chemical change means? It's when some new substances are formed from the original substances. This is known as chemical change. Okay, these are some observations through which you can determine that a chemical change has taken place. Means these are some of observations. By studying this, you can say that a chemical reaction has taken place or a chemical reaction is not occurred. First one is change in state. For example, if you burn a candle, then wax of the candle get burned, means it get converted from solid to the liquid by the liberation of light energy and the heat energy, also CO2 and water. So solid converts into liquid. So you can say change in state occurs for the chemical change. Likewise, Second example is KMnO4 reaction with the lemon juice. As KMnO4 is purple in color, when you add lemon juice to the purple colored KMnO4, its color get discharged. The KMnO4 will become as colorless. This reaction we are going to do in the laboratory whenever you come to school. So change in color may also take place. Okay, next one is evolution of gas and change in temperature. If you add zinc to the sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid, then generation of hydrogen gas take place. Means you are producing hydrogen gas by using solid and liquid, solid zinc and liquid hydrochloric acid, and the container will become hot. So evolution of gas and change in temperature may take place. Likewise, if you add water to the lime water is produced by the liberation of tremendous amount of heat energy. Next one is chemical equation. As chemical equation means representation of a chemical reaction. Its chemical change is production of products from the reactants. Means when some new substances are formed from the old substances, this is known as chemical reaction. And when you represent the chemical reaction, it is known as chemical equation. So chemical reaction is represented by the chemical equation. Chemical reaction process and chemical reaction versus a chemical equation. Chemical reaction or chemical change is a process, while chemical equation is representation of chemical reaction. Don't get confused with the chemical reaction and chemical equation. Chemical equation means representation and chemical reaction means a process. Right. Here's example. When you add zinc to the sulfuric acid, hydrogen gas production take place, means evolution of hydrogen gas. So this is a process. It's chemical change or chemical reaction, can say, when it is represented like this: zinc plus sulfuric acid, it forms zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas. This will become as chemical equation. Now what is need of chemical equations, right? Suppose example, when you burn magnesium ribbon in the presence of oxygen, if I ask how will you represent the reaction or how will you describe the reaction, so this description of chemical reaction in a sentence form is quite long. It will take a long time. So it can be written in a shorter form by using chemical equations. For example, if you burn magnesium in the presence of oxygen, it will form magnesium oxide. If you want to describe, you can simply say magnesium plus oxygen, it will form magnesium oxide. It's very simple. Now what are types of chemical equations? Chemical equations are of two types. One is word equation, symbol equation. As these terms are self-explanatory, word equation means you are representing a chemical reaction by using words. For example, so magnesium plus oxygen, it will form magnesium oxide. You're writing in full words. Now symbol equation means when you're writing symbols of these words like Mg plus O2, it will form 2MgO. So it is a symbolic equation or symbol equation. But this equation is not balanced here. You have to balance the equation by putting 2 in front of magnesium. Later on we will studying balancing of chemical equation. Okay, next is the parts of chemical equations. Basically, three parts are there. One is reactant, second is product, and reactants and products. One arrow is there. The substances that exist before the chemical change or chemical reactions. These are initial substances, original substances. When these form new substances which are known as products. So the new substances formed during the chemical reaction are known as products. Our chemical equation indicates the reactants and products of the reaction which are separated by the arrow. Okay, word equation shows chains of reactants to products through an arrow placed between them. Right? The reactants are written on the left hand side and products are written on the right hand side, and if two or more reactants and two or more products are there, then these are separated by using plus sign between them. The arrowhead points towards the products and shows the direction of the reaction. Where arrowhead is facing, then products are formed in the direction. For example, you can say Mg plus O2 form MgO. In this arrow is facing towards MgO, so MgO is formed if you mix magnesium with the oxygen by in some conditions. Now writing of chemical equation. How to write a chemical equation? As I have already told you that in the reactants, if two or more reactants are there, you have to add plus sign between them, and in reactants and products you have to add arrow. So count and compare the number of atoms of each element on the left hand side and right hand side in the arrow. Is the number of atoms on the each element the same on the both sides? If you see this reaction Mg plus O2 form MgO, in the left hand side 1 Mg there, the right hand side 1 Mg is there, so Mg is balanced. Whether in the, if you see oxygen atoms, in the left hand side 2 oxygen atoms, in the right hand side 1 oxygen atom, so this is not a balanced chemical equation. Such type of equations are known as unbalanced chemical equations or skeletal chemical equations. It's very important, skeletal chemical equation. So this is a skeletal equation for the burning of magnesium. Some questions for homework. Write at least 5 chemical changes around you which you observe daily. And second question, differentiate between chemical equation and chemical reaction. And in the next part we are going to discuss the balancing of chemical equation and how to write the chemical equations. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.